Hello, good evening and welcome to BBC Look North. The headlines tonight. Medical details of people from Hull are sent to an unsuspecting city resident.
Your name, your address, your national insurance number, your date of birth, that's the basic kit for identity fraud.
Good evening. It's been called the Basic Kit for Identity Fraud. A letter containing the medical and personal details of a number of people has been sent by mistake to a Hull man. Stephen Peace received a letter from the Tribunal Service earlier this week, as well as all the details about his case. He was shocked to see that he'd also been sent confidential details about 3 other people. Stephen brought the letter into our BBC Open Centre here in Hull for us to see for ourselves. Lindsay Smith has more.
A woman's diagnosis of incurable breast cancer. A 6-page medical report on a man awaiting heart surgery. Details you'd assume would be private, but what landed on the doormat of Stephen Peace after an error by the Tribunal Service.
When I opened it, I discovered my details and also 3 other people's medical history, symptoms, national insurance numbers and contact numbers. I was just shocked.
Look North has seen the documents. They contain detailed medical records of people appealing benefits decisions. They describe one cancer sufferer's pain and incontinence, another claimant's problems with his catheter, and names, addresses and national insurance numbers. Stephen Jefferson is one of those whose privacy has been breached.
It actually annoys me because you're supposed to trust these people, right, and confide in these people, and you would never believe that this sort of information could get into the wrong hands to start off with. I feel as though I don't have no trust in the Tribunal Service at the end of the day, because mistakes like this should never have happened anyway.
A spokesperson for the Tribunal Service has told us that this appears to have been a case of human error, and they've taken steps to ensure that the documents are returned quickly and securely. But it's not the first sensitive data blunder of late. Benefit claimants, military recruits, even people taking their driving test have been victims.
Any authority that behaves like this has done something really quite disgraceful. But when you think about quite how private this information is, this is an even worse example for some of the abuses we've seen recently. And I hope very much that the people who are responsible are punished.
Steve has received an apology, but he's now worried about his personal information and in whose hands it could lie. Lindsay Smith, BBC Look North, Hull.
Joining me now is David Smith. He's from the independent body that's responsible for promoting data privacy. David, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Some people would be horrified that this could happen. Is this a one-off, or do things like this often go on?
It's certainly not a one-off. I mean, we get 30 or 40 data breaches reported to our office a month, some more serious than this, some less serious. But it's only a voluntary system, so probably a tip of the iceberg. It is a worrying problem, and one which needs to be put right.
So how much concern is there about a data loss, or in the wrong hands, like in this case of private and sensitive information?
Well, that's right. I mean, there are two causes of harm. This is about sensitive information getting into the wrong people's hands. Information you want to keep to yourself. It's about your health. It's about your financial affairs. On the other hand, we also have information that's useful for identity fraud, things like national insurance numbers, credit card details, which can be used to defraud you. So it's worrying on both counts.
The trouble is, things like this seem to be happening more often. I mean, just last week we had a doctor take home a laptop, got it stolen with patients' records on it. Why do these things seem to be happening more regularly now?
I don't know that they're happening more often. They come to more attention. Since that data breach by HMRC when they lost the child benefit data a couple of years ago, a lot more attention has been paid to this. And because of that, we at the Information Commissioner's Office now have a power to impose monetary penalties, fines, for serious data breaches. And only a couple of months ago, we imposed our first 2 penalties. One of up £60,000 to a firm which was running our legal advice centres in Hull.
But what can we actually do to stop it? Because, I mean, some people will be horrified when they see that report there. I mean, what can be done to stop it so that this information doesn't get out?
Well, it's the organisations that hold the information that take the first responsibility, and they have to make sure their staff are properly trained. They have to get procedures in place to check that information isn't put in the wrong envelopes. They really need to get their act in order. But there are some things we can do as individuals ourselves to protect our personal information. Be sure who you're giving your information out to. Don't just throw your credit card slips and your bank statements out. Shred them.
Okay.
Check what's on your credit card statements to make sure there's nothing that shouldn't be there.
Very
and
good.
Report it if there is.
Very good advice, Mr. Smith. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. I'm sure you have a view on this one tonight. Do organisations do enough to protect our personal details? What would you like to see done? Are you surprised by what's happened on this occasion with this report? Any more examples? Email looknorth@bbc.co.uk, looknorth@bbc.co.uk. The text number is 81333. Start the text with the word looknorth, 81333, or follow me on Twitter. We'll have some before we finish at